Live. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be testing Teardown on the GTX 1050 Ti, 750 Ti, 570, 580 and 1650 Super. Thanks to Tuxedo Labs for providing a copy of the game. How are you guys doing? Good seeing you there. So this is a game that I was super interested in testing, but I forgot it released in early access. So it's on Steam Early Access right now. So if you're interested in the game, follow the link in the description to the Steam page. This is completely ray traced, so there are ray trace reflections, it's voxels. So these millions of voxels can be, everything is extractable basically. So I'm super interested in testing that out. Hi, how are you guys doing? Good seeing you. I miss you. I streamed 2 days ago, but I feel the need to stream every once in a while. So here's 1080p. I'm using the 1050 Ti now. So 1 second, going to change that. This is super demanding because again, ray traced, but you don't need any ray tracing hardware. So you don't need an RTX card. It works on basically any graphics card at the moment. So I'll go directly into the sandbox mode because I have infinite ammo. I can destroy as much as I want. So let's try the first part here. One of the first levels. Hi guys, hi, how are you doing? So as you can see, we are now on high settings 1080p. And as you can see, we're below 30 frames per second. Well, basically at 30, but once we start destroying stuff, it's going to be pretty bad. So as you can see, super demanding, but again, ray tracing and completely destructible environments. So let's lower the settings first. Let's do no distortion, no depth of field, and no motion blur, because those here are super distracting, at least to me. So we're doing, you have low, medium, or high. You don't have any other option. And this affects, according to this, shadows, reflections, and denoising are rendered. So this is directly affecting the performance. This will affect how noisy the shadows are, how many reflections there are, all that stuff. So as you can see on high, we're already below 30 frames per second, so we have to go lower, at least on 1080p. So let's try medium. Let's see, medium. Okay, on medium at the moment, we're over 30 frames per second. So as you can see, as I was saying, completely destructible environments, depending on what you're using to destroy stuff, as you can see. So you got physics, you got destruction, explosions, smoke. Let's see if we start destroying stuff, if we can maintain 30 frames. So let's grab this vehicle and start wreaking havoc. Okay, already below 30 frames, so maybe medium on this card, on 1080p at least. Not going to be great. But as you can see, look at that destruction, that's insane. So yeah, probably you want to lower the settings even further. So this is medium, sorry I forgot to update the option. So this is now low settings on 1080p. So now we drop to low settings, we jump from mid-20s to low 30s, so maybe this is the best way to play the game. I don't know yet. But I mean, look at that destruction. I just ran into a house. But you can probably see this in the stream. The shadows now are super noisy. There's a lot of noise in the shadows on low settings. But there are still reflections in the floor. Yeah, reflections in the ground, reflections in the water, super noisy, but there are reflections. I think what you miss on low settings are the window reflections. So in parts with windows, there will be no reflections at all, like this. As you can see, no reflections. So let's see if I do something more demanding. Let's blow stuff up. So you got different types of weapons. You have a shotgun. As you can see, you can chip parts off. But you also got bombs and rockets. So we're going to use those to stress test it. So let's use a rocket launcher. So we start wreaking havoc. And as you can see, when smoke shows up, We also get a big hit to the performance when we are close to the smoke. Remember, this is the sandbox mode. When you're playing missions, this is not going to be as demanding. This is like a stress test, especially when you start wrecking everything on your site. So again, on 1080p at least, low settings seems to be the only way to get over 30 most of the time. But there's a lot of particles, a lot of destruction, there's ray tracing. So I'm pretty impressed considering the GPU we're using and the amount of things that can happen at the same time. I mean, look at those particles. So yeah, let's try now 900p. So we're going to lower the settings. So we select high again, but we're going to lower that resolution. Oh, gotta go back to the main menu. Hang on, guys. So in the main menu, we're going to drop to 900p. Yeah, the performance is bad, but remember, this is completely ray traced. There's destruction, there is a lot of particles, there's a lot going on in this game. So it kind of makes sense, considering there's ray tracing going on. And the amount of destruction. To me, at least, it makes complete sense. I was expecting even worse numbers. What they do need to work on, in my opinion, is the CPU performance. The game seems to be using only 2 cores. So when there's a lot of destruction, it can be pretty bad. The performance will drop significantly. So 900p high settings, as you can see, there's reflections, there's ray trace shadows as well, but they're not as noisy as before. So walking around, it appears to be fine. Let's see once we start wrecking havoc again. So let's get the rocket launcher and turn things on fire. Okay, 900p seems to be doing a lot better. Although maybe high, as you can see, when I'm close to the particles, it drops. Maybe medium makes more sense, we'll see. But look at this, even the smoke is interactive. It's going through the sides of the building. All right, come on, let's get out of the water. Why can't I find a way game settings video? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Try again. All right. So let's see, close to the fire and the smoke. Yeah, we're dropping below 30. So we are completely GPU bound at the moment. Let's see, more bombs. Let's blow it up. Let's destroy this entire place. Alright, am I missing? Yeah, that wall over there. We're already dropping below 30 frames. Yeah, we completely wrecked the house. And everything is on fire. So yeah, let's try now medium settings. So we'll drop in the render quality to medium. So this is 900p medium now. So yeah, what the game is about is in the name, Teardown. You gotta wreck stuff, but there is missions. This is the sandbox mode, and I'm using this mode because you have unlimited ammo. You can go to whatever map that you want. That's why it's to do a stress test. When you're playing the game and the missions, you don't have unlimited resources, so you cannot go and start destroying everything like this. So keep that in mind. I'm doing this as a stress test. When you get close to the particles on fire, the GPU suffers a lot, as you can see. So yeah, let's go to a normal mission. Let's see if we can maintain 30s with this configuration. So we go to the campaign. Oh, the game A Way Out. Okay, so the game A Way Out, I tested it before. It's not hard to run, really. Pretty easy to run. So let's go to a mission. Let's go for the first one. So as you'll see, yeah, this is more of a concept. But as you can see here, this is one of the missions. I don't have unlimited ammo. I have limited stuff. So I have 6 rockets, 6 bombs, 6 shots. And the first mission is you gotta destroy this house. But you only have a sledgehammer, a spray can, and a extinguisher the first time you launch the game. You have to unlock more weapons as you progress through the game. So yeah, as you can see, it's only in the sandbox mode. It's when you usually can just wreak havoc completely. By wreaking havoc, I mean you can just shoot unlimited rockets, shoot as many times as you want. In the missions it's more limited, more like a puzzle game. Yo compré una 570 8GB el año pasado, dentro de todo va bien la mayoría de los juegos. Lo único negativo que encontré fue la temperatura. Ah, bueno, me alegro que lo podías solucionar. Sí, es una gran gráfica, con 8GB estás del otro lado. So guys, for example, in this mission, the first one, you gotta destroy this house. It says that it's 6 meters too tall, but you got very limited weapons in this one. But you can grab a car and just rip and tear through the house. So as you can see here, we're still over 30 frames, like that. What cars have you used so far? Today, this is the first one, so you arrived just in time. So let's see if I try to destroy this house completely. Yeah, so far only the 1050 Ti is what I've been using on this game. We're going to try out more. But as you can see, in comparison to the sandbox mode, this runs better because there's less stuff going on. So yeah. Whoa. Let's see, close to smoke. Yeah, even going through smoke, we're still over 30, at least here. So yeah, let's try using more weapons so I can get out of this level. Let's use the rockets. Let's just get over with. Get this over with. Come on. Anybody else? Let's see. Yeah, also the game is OpenGL. I hope they can later add what's the name of this, Vulkan or something, and make the game take advantage of more than 2 cores. Yeah, still too tall. Let me see if I can get inside the vehicle. Okay, it still can. ¿El underworld te sirvió? ¿No te sirvió? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué? Un overclock te ayudó. Qué random. Es buena la 5500 XT 8 GB. Debería ser como una 580, así que debería tener números similares a eso. Can you make a video with Core i5 9400F and RX 580? At the moment I don't have that CPU. Well, I don't have it anymore. But I mean, you'll be fine with that CPU and that GPU. You don't need really much at all to run a 580 nowadays, in my opinion at least. So the i5 should be more than enough for the time being. So yeah, as you can see, this is running better than the sandbox mode because you got limited destruction. Limited destruction in a way you don't have unlimited rockets, unlimited bombs. You don't have unlimited anything. So you're more limited with the destruction in that way. The thing is, when you get to the sandbox mode, let me show you that very quickly. So if I go to sandbox, after you unlock all these levels and all the weapons, you can basically destroy the performance super easily. So it's going to run worse than the campaign due to that. You have limited resources there. But here, for example, I have unlimited shotgun, unlimited rockets, unlimited everything. So you can just destroy the engine. I mean, just look at this. I can shoot rockets endlessly. So yeah. When there's a lot of destruction, that's when the game suffers the most. Especially on the GPU side, because we are doing ray tracing. So yeah. Probably the settings I would recommend are 900p medium, because you got still reflections in glass, good reflections in the ground and the water, as you can see, ray tracing, so the reflections are nice. And the shadows are not that grainy. When you go to low settings, you lose a lot of the reflections and the shadows are super grainy. So I'll just keep it like this, 30 frames per second, 900p. You get the nice particles, the nice reflections, but you get drops in performance with a lot of destruction. But again, if you're doing the campaign, that is more of a slower paced thing, then it's going to be over 30 most of the time. The thing is, when you go crazy and try to destroy everything, which is what most people will get this game for. But again, you can just destroy a building completely. There's physics, there's ray tracing, so the thing is the particles and all that. So yeah, this will be my best settings. Again, 900p medium. If you go to low, you get a massive performance boost. Not massive, but a big performance boost. As you can see, over 30 more easily. But you get grainier reflections and shadows, and some stuff doesn't have reflections anymore, so things to keep in mind. As you can see, this glass here loses a reflection. But again, it's optional. I think medium is the best middle ground, obviously. Ray tracing in OpenGL, yeah, this is with voxels and you're doing ray tracing, but this doesn't require any ray tracing card. As you can see, I'm doing 1050 Ti, and this one does not have hardware ray tracing. Maybe I called it wrong. Maybe it's path tracing. I gotta get more informed on that. But as you can see, there is ray traced stuff, definitely. But the more you lower the settings, the less complex, the less rays it's going to do. So you're getting grainier shadows, grainier reflections. Look at the shadow, it's super grainy. But if I put it on high, it's less grainy. So that's basically what you're going to notice. Less reflections are grainier shadows. So yeah, considering what we're seeing, I think it makes sense. So yeah. Santi, ¿no te pasa que a veces que se traban las palabras cuando hablas en inglés y en español a la vez? Sí, por supuesto, me estoy acostumbrando todavía. Alright, let's try a different level, guys. So let's go to the level we were before, where it was raining, there were more shadows. Let's try Hollow Rock. Does the 1650 Super have around the same performance as the 5500 XT? It should be similar, it depends on a game-to-game basis, mostly. Because some games run better on Nvidia, some others on AMD, so it can vary quite a bit. I would say it's comparable, but I like having the extra memory, so in some games I can make a huge difference, like on Godfall. So it really depends on what games you're playing. Yeah, as you can see, when getting close to the smoke, you can get below 30 frames. At least in this level. But there are more reflections, the ground has more reflections as well. I'll do something more fun now. Can you try to rocket jump? Sure, let's try it. Probably not going to work, but hey. No, not working at all. I just died. Like in real life. But at least you don't lose the progress. So let's try destroying the lighthouse. I want to try that out. Let's see. So with massive destruction. Oh yeah, as you can see, the GPU usage drops. So the game is only using 2 CPU cores, but once the destruction stops, the GPU gets back into 90% usage. Let's see if we can make it fall down. Oh, I died. No, I managed to make it fall down. Let me see it fall down. Okay, there it is. Oh, I was expecting it to destroy the other houses. That's insane. Yeah, there's a lot of physics going on now, so the CPU is suffering, only using 2 threads maxed out. But yeah, as you can see now, with more destruction going on, plus the smoke, the fire, all that, we're getting worse numbers. Yeah, even the house is breaking down. So yeah, this will be the worst performance scenario, destroying many things like a madman. So your CPU is going to max out 2 of the threads, and the GPU usage will drop. Let's try to put out the fire. Let's see if we can make it run better now. Oh yeah, rest in pepperonis. We're going to try 720p after this. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to turn off this fire. like this. Holy hell. Anyways, let's restart the level now. Too much for the GPU. Alright, so we're back here. Again, I think this will be the best balance, visuals and performance. You get a good amount of reflections. The glass here has reflections if you care about that. It doesn't look as grainy in general. So medium 900p should be best. Let's now swap to 720p. Gotta go back to the main menu for that. But let's try 720 now. So high settings, 720p. Alright, okay. We are back now. So this is 720p high settings. Let's see if we can maintain a consistent 30 frames. So the status now is 720p high. Are you going to tear down the cards and do a board analysis? Yeah, of course. Why not? Let's do it. So let's do the sandbox, the same map. ¿Dónde consigues una GPU 700 de Nvidia? Envejecieron muy mal, sí, tal cual, pero andás a ver cómo, dónde las sacó. So guys, 720p high settings at the moment, over 30 just fine. Let's start breaking stuff. So let's start right away putting fire on this house. So blowtorch, let's just put fire on everything to wreck the GPU. So as you can see, again, completely destructible environments. Okay, so fire, let's get close to the particles, 30 frames. Okay, still 30 frames, let's see how long that lasts once I start blowing stuff up. Sí, la GT 1030 debería ser más compatible, Dead Solder. O una 5500, una 550, sí. Okay, let's see. I always love to see your benchmark videos. Well, thanks, Arcant. Glad you enjoy the content. Guys, if you like the content I do, which is testing games on GPUs of this range, make sure to like the video. It helps me out a ton, so YouTube recommends the stuff I make. And if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe, so you know when I'm going live, when I'm testing different stuff. Next week I'm going to be doing Immortals Phoenix Rising, and some other games that are coming out that I cannot talk about yet. So, thank you guys for all the support. Let's see if we can maintain over 30 all the time. Probably not, because there's a lot of... We're going to be CPU limited, because it's only using 2 threads. I mean, only maxing out 2 threads with a lot of destruction. Okay. So... Okay, so far so good. Maybe 720p is the best option right now. So let's destroy this completely. Let's see how it fares. Oh man, all that performance. Okay, once it stabilizes, it goes back to 30. Okay. Yeah, I love stress testing, breaking stuff in games. All right. Nice. Let's make it tumble over. Yeah, the house is on fire. I'm dropping this over the house. Unfortunately, it doesn't break the house with gravity, but hey. That's great. I wanted to see this in a video game for a long time. Completely destructible stuff. But as you can see, after you destroy a lot of things, the game stays below 30 frames and the GPU usage is not maxed out at all. So probably something to do with the engine, because there's a lot going on at the same time, not taking advantage of the CPU. So probably if you have a quad-core CPU without hyper-threading, you're going to get the same numbers when destroying many things. But again, sandbox mode, I'm stress testing the engine, the CPU, the GPU. I'm just maxing it out. This is like the worst case scenario, I would say. So yeah, let's try medium. Let's see if that helps in any way in this scenario. So 720p medium. Alright, so medium, still 26 FPS. Let's restart the level. All right. So yeah, 720p probably high makes sense anyways, because when you destroy everything, it doesn't utilize the GPU at its maximum potential, not even the CPU. So hopefully they make more optimizations to the engine, because this is super interesting. That everything is destructible. I'm super into it. All the physics and all that good stuff. And the fire is pretty good in this one. It slowly eats all the wood here. When the building is on fire, it will slowly destroy the building. So pretty interesting. On the physics side, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, you assume CPU bottleneck, but the bottleneck comes from the single-threaded performance. The game seems to be using only 2 cores, maxed out in the worst parts. So in this case, you're probably going to need a faster CPU on the single-thread part. So if you have maybe, I don't know, one of the new Ryzen CPUs or one of the newer Intel CPUs with higher single threads, it's going to probably be a lot better. But hopefully they allow for more multi-threading later down the line. Not sure about that, but at the moment, even with a Ryzen 5 3600, it's going to drop below 30 with a lot of destruction. Overspeed. Yeah, when I was playing Flight Simulator. Yeah, also I'm surprised how GPU bound the game is, probably due to the ray tracing. But so far it's a lot of fun. This is only the sandbox mode though, so this is open to destroy whatever you want with unlimited ammo. You get the levels and the weapons later down the line. You have to unlock it. This is with everything unlocked. So when you're playing a mission, you're not going to have unlimited destruction due to the limited ammunition. So yeah, let's go back to high settings. I'll show you just one mission of the campaign so you can understand what I'm talking about. So when you're doing a lot of destruction like this is when the engine suffers the most. With a lot of destruction, you're going to drop below 30 no matter what. Again, early access. But if we go to the menu and go to the campaign, what do you recommend, at 6800 or at 3070? Depends on the price. The 3070, I'm a little afraid due to the video memory, only 8 gigabytes, and ray tracing uses a lot of video memory so far. So let's see. Yeah, let's try this one. So as I was saying, when you're doing the missions, you're not going to have unlimited ammo. As you can see, only 20 blowtorch, 12 shotgun shells, 6 rockets. So the destruction is not going to be as demanding on the missions. Due to that exactly, you don't have unlimited ammo. So if you're in the sandbox mode, it's much easier to drop below 30 than here. So in the missions you have to complete objectives, and then you're going to just... Usually the objectives are wreck this, but you have limited ammunition, so... Oh yeah, faster car, I want that. I'm not sure what I have to do, I'm just wrecking stuff over. But so far it seems that 900p medium or 720p high are the best options. 1080p low drops below 30 anyways. So yeah, there's a heist going on here that you have to plan, that I'm not paying any attention to. But as you can see, as I was saying, less demanding than the sandbox mode. So things to keep in mind. So anyways, let's do now the 750 Ti. So again guys, remember to get the levels and the weapons, so everything here, you gotta play the story missions. If you do not do that, you only have a sledgehammer, a fire extinguisher, and a blowtorch. So at the start you only have that. So after 2 or 3 hours of gameplay, you should be able to get more sandbox levels. to play around and do whatever you want, and more weapons. So yeah, very quickly, so you guys know, to sum up, the 1050 Ti do either 900p medium, so you still have reflections, you still have decent shadows and a decent resolution. And if you do 720p, make sure to do high or medium. On 1080p, low settings looks super blurry on the shadows, so you're going to have worse shadows, worse reflections, and the game drops below 30 more often on 1080p. So my advice, 900p medium would be the best settings in my opinion. Over 30 basically most of the time. So time to swap GPUs now. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. What about you, man? Yeah, I had a timer, but the timer was to do the heist, which I was not doing. So it's not only destruction. Destruction is there, but there's like objectives to complete in each level. So it really depends on what the mission is. The first one is just destroy a building, super tall, but you have limited resources. So here's the 1050 Ti we just used. Let's go for the 750 Ti, the legendary budget graphics card from 2014. So what do I get in? All right, there it goes. Best of luck. Speak Spanish, dude. No eres gringo. Sí, bueno, pero con inglés llegó a mucha más gente. It would be great if AMD drops their equivalent of DLSS. Well, if they have one, it will be amazing. I want competition. That's a great feature that you can use a lower resolution and get higher frame rates. Please give me that without destroying the visuals. Yeah, please, AMD, do something. No, so do I. How's it going? Doing fine on like. How are you doing, man? You're playing Teardown right now. Well, that's great, man. I hope you're enjoying the game. I hope you are having a lot of fun with it. Why this Minecraft style game is heavy for 1050 Ti? Because it has ray tracing on everything. There is complete destruction of the environments with voxels. So everything is made of voxels and you can basically destroy everything that you see. There's realistic fire and smoke. So it kind of makes sense, really. I'm surprised that it runs that way on the 1050 Ti. I was expecting a lot worse. So okay, 750 Ti, as you can see there. We're going to do directly 720p. And let's see if we can maintain at least 30 frames. Never tried this card on this game. Wish me luck. Sí, Badkiller, hablo español. Soy de Uruguay. Pero el inglés me hace llegar a mucha más gente. When you do 570, or you already did it, 570 is coming after this one, so stay tuned. We're almost there. After this one, we do 570, then 580, then 1650 Super. So thank you for your patience. Let's see, hang on. Okay, we got the performance metrics. Whoa. 1 second, guys. We gotta fix the frame rate counter. So 750 Ti, wish me luck, guys. Going to try my best on this one. So 720p, high settings. Let's go directly to the sandbox mode. Let's see if we can get at least 30 frames at 720p low. Okay, 28 FPS on high settings. Let's go to medium. Let's see if medium at least gives us playable frame rates. Still 30, and I didn't destroy anything at all yet. So let's do low settings. So low settings, 720p. Okay, over 30. Let's see if we can maintain it for a longer period of time. So low settings, 720p. Okay, mid 30s. Let's try wrecking havoc. So we're going to start lighting this house on fire. So we, come on, more fire, please. Give me that. All right. So when close to the fire and the smoke, yeah, we drop below 30 easily, which was to be expected, really. So yeah, let's see if lowering the rendering resolution helps, because we are GPU limited. Let's do 75% resolution scale. All right. Yeah, that seems to do the trick. So this is plus 75% res scale. So we're at 75% 720p, which should be, let me check, super blurry. So 720 by 0.75. This is 540p, basically. So around 540p. So keep that in mind, guys. We are on a completely ray traced here at 720p with 75% resolution on low settings, which is around 540p. So the game is super blurry and the shadows are super grainy. But at least when looking at fire, we're at 30 frames per second. So considering it's a 750 Ti and we are way below the minimum requirements, I'm pretty surprised. Let's just now wreak havoc. But yeah, I'm super low resolution here. So noise, we can get 30s. So if you still have this card and want to play this game, you can do it, apparently. Let's do a stress test now. We destroy this. Yeah, this part destroys the CPU as well, so not only GPU. Holy hell. So, okay, once it stabilizes after destruction, we get over 30 again. In those parts, again, we are CPU limited, because the game only uses 2 cores. Let's just destroy that part that's missing. And again, worst case scenario, we're in the sandbox mode with unlimited ammo. Alright, come on, tumble over. Hell yeah, over the fire, over the destroyed house. So as you can see, the GPU there is not maxed out. So we destroyed the performance here due to the CPU single-threaded performance. The game is not fully utilizing any of the components, as you can see. So they need to do more CPU optimizations, I would say. Because again, GPU not maxed out, 60% GPU usage. CPU not maxed out. So if they work on that, it should be a lot better. With the destruction, the physics, the lighting. So there's a lot going on here. That's why we're destroying the frame rate like this. So let's go to one of the missions, less demanding. This will be, again, worst case scenario. You have unlimited ammo, you can destroy whatever you want. As you can see, when nothing is going on, we're into the 40s. The thing is, when you do a lot of destruction, so when you're fooling around in the sandbox mode, that's what is going to happen eventually. Let's just destroy this house one more time. It never gets old. Am I missing a piece? Yep. That one over here. Okay. Yeah, before destroying this stuff, it's usually fine. Let's get close to the flames. Yeah, still over 30. Yeah, this will be the way to get over 30, even with fire on screen. So I'll keep it like this. Let's go to one of the missions and try that out. So, campaign. Hello, Slatkill. How are you doing, man? Good seeing you there. Alright, as you can see, when nothing is happening in the hub world, it's okay. Let's go directly into one of the missions. Let's go to the first one to show you the most basic thing that you'll see. So in general, you got limited ammunition. So when you first start the game without any missions completed or anything, you get a sledgehammer, a spray can, and extinguisher, as far as I know. Then when you start playing more missions, you get the blowtorch, the shotgun, the plank, I don't know what that does, the pipe bomb, gun, bomb, rockets, all that. But at the start you only get a sledgehammer and a fire extinguisher, but you can grab stuff and throw it around if you want to destroy. And in this first mission you only have to destroy this house. So with the very basic tools you have at the beginning, it takes a few minutes. But then when you start unlocking weapons, it gets easier and easier. At the start you don't have the rocket launcher, for example, but you don't get that level of destruction that you get in the sandbox mode due to just not having a lot of resources. You have limited ammo. So if you're doing the missions, you can probably do native 720 just fine. So let's put 100% resolution scale. So we go back to 100%. So this is 720p low settings. And as you can see now, we are at 30 frames, but there's not as much going on as in the sandbox mode. So if you're playing the missions, maybe 720p makes more sense, because you're not getting as many things going on at once. But again, when close to fire, smoke, you're going to drop below 30. In this case, I'll probably just overclock the 750 Ti. So let's do that. So we add 200 MHz to the core and 400 MHz to the memory clock. So we do a decent overclock. So this is the 750 Ti overclocked. So this should give you a good boost in performance. So let's apply and get back into the game. So with an overclock, let's see when we get close to the fire. Okay, we're over 30. Close to the fire instead of below 30. So these missions are usually either destroy a building with limited resources or do a heist that has different sorts of objectives with time trials. So you are limited on time and on weapons. In this case, the first mission is the most basic one. Just destroy this house. And you got vehicles here as well. So you can just grab a vehicle and run over the house as well. So yeah, you got multiple options, and there's also a story that I didn't pay any attention to. But if you're only here for the destruction, you can play a couple missions, get more tools than the ones that come with the start of the game. And after you do so, you can unlock more sandbox levels. The sandbox levels are not available from the start, you gotta unlock them. So keep that in mind. From the start, you don't have every weapon at your disposal. As you can see there, I destroyed the building, so mission accomplished. You have to go back to your car over here, and the mission ends. This is the very first one, as you can see, the most basic one. Let's go to a different mission. Let's see how creative it gets. So missions, let's go to Hollow Rock Island. It says destroy Mr. Amanatides' prop and tanks for Gillian to demonstrate the true value of proper insurance. Let's see what else there is. Leak chemicals. Parisa wants access to Lee's customer registry. Pick up 3 computers at the site for her. Pick up 3 login devices for Parisa. They are protected by an alarm system. The security arrives 60 seconds after the alarm is triggered. Make sure to plan ahead. As you can see here, this is a heist mission. So it's more than just, hey, destroy everything. You need to get out on time, so you have to plan it ahead because there's security. So if I open this door, well, I cannot open it. It's locked. So let's just try and do something with this mission. This one is a heist. So you have a timer. If you're detected by the alarm, you got a few seconds to get out with the data that you need. Let's see. It says security, wired alarm boxes. Breaking an alarm box or wire triggers the alarm. So it says that it has an alarm system, and in 60 seconds the security arrives, which I guess will be mission over in that case. So there's more than just destroying stuff. You can do planning ahead and all that, which I personally just try to go to the sandbox mode, because the sandbox mode is what is more fun for me, to stress test the GPU. These levels are not that stressful for the GPU because there's not as much destruction going on. All right, let's open this door. Okay, here it said breaking an alarm box or wire triggers the alarm. Oh man. Oh, I can do quick saves. Okay, so you can do quick saves. So it's more like the other games, when you can save your progress at any time. So at the moment I haven't triggered any alarms. So the game has some extra depth than just destroying things. Let's see if I can trigger the alarm easily. I'll destroy something. Okay, here. Oh man. Yeah, I cannot destroy brick with a sledgehammer. Let me shotgun my way through. Alright. I'm in. Oh, you can also steal stuff. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. So as you can see, there's more than just destroying stuff for people that were asking about it. Destruction is one of the main parts, but there's also missions. So let's go back to the sandbox mode. It's what I'm usually interested in. So let's try a different level. Let's try Villa Gordon. What's the game about? You got complete destruction, you got ray tracing, you got voxels. So everything is made of voxels. So everything is destructible. As you can see there, the destruction is amazing. And I think I destroyed my GPU. Yeah, I killed the GPU. As you can see there, the video memory got maxed out. It was at 2 gigabytes, so I just went to the 2 gigabyte part and the game crashed because they didn't have enough video memory. So let me see if I retry that level, if the game doesn't crash. Maybe that level, because it's bigger, it destroys the 750 Ti there. So let's try that level again. Let's see if it's playable. So we're back into this level. Yeah, this level uses more video memory. As you can see, 2 gigabytes. So when I destroy something, the game runs out of video memory. Let's see if it crashes again. We're going to wreak havoc again. Okay, this time didn't crash. Maybe because I loaded multiple levels. Let's try to take this piece of the building away. Let's see if I can chip it out. That would be interesting. Alright. Does RTX 2060 performs same in both laptop and desktop? Not really. It's a mixed bag, I would say, because some laptops, the 2060 is not clocked the same. People have been testing the 2060 on laptops, and sometimes even the 1660 Ti laptops are faster, so I would say it's a mixed bag. I'll check the reviews for the laptop itself, but it's not usually the same, unfortunately. It's a mixed bag, at least for what I've seen on the internet. So this piece is floating. Maybe I have to chip out this part. There we go. So you can take a piece away from the building and half of it will just tear down, literally. So that's great. Okay, yeah, this thing is probably not destructible. Let's see. Yeah, doesn't seem to be. Let's see if I put some bombs there. Yeah, this part doesn't seem to be destructible at all. That's disappointing. But I mean, yeah. It seemed to be crashing because I loaded multiple levels. Saludos, Luis Torres. Saludos. Yeah, that pillar is not destructible apparently. Or maybe I'm not using the correct weapon. Let's try the blowtorch. Yeah, apparently not destructible. This one. Well, that's unfortunate. I was expecting 100% destructible. So let's call it 90% destructible. Let's try more bombs. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be destructible at all. Let's see if there's anything else here. Oh, there's an elevator. Okay, let's try destroying this pillar then, since it has an elevator. Yeah, just tear through it. And after this, we're going to swap to the, whoa, we're going to swap to the 570. But as you can see, when I'm going through this building with more destruction behind me, the CPU suffers a lot as well. Yeah, let's just use the rockets. But yeah, like before, in the sandbox mode, it's going to suffer quite a bit on all sides. So yeah, this one was destructible. Let's see this pillar over here. Yeah, it also has rebars, so I cannot destroy this, I think. Oh, there's also a flashlight that produces shadows. Interesting. I didn't know that. I forgot. So yeah, let's talk about the options menu. So my advice for the 750 Ti is do 75% resolution scale at 720p. So this will be basically 540p. So this is 720p, 75%, which is 540p. If you can do an overclock, do it. You're going to get a benefit. So make sure to do 720p, render scale on 75, low settings, and that's about it. Everything else disabled. That should give you 30 frames in general. And in the missions that are not the sandbox mode, you should be over 30 all the time, even close to fire. As you can see, when nothing is happening, I'm getting great frames. But then with a limited ammo, you start destroying stuff and the CPU and GPU start suffering quite a bit. So yeah, when stress testing, you're going to drop below 30 even on a faster PC. But as you can see, even looking at fire super close, we're over 30 just fine. So yeah, those are the best settings. Yeah, it's hard to destroy steel construction, but I was expecting to be able to destroy it. I'm a little too demanding, maybe. So yeah, those are the settings for the 750 Ti. Let's swap GPUs now. So we restart the PC. We turn off the PC, better said. And we're doing the 570 now, so RX 570. And we're going to start with 1080p right away. So it's going to be 1080p resolution, 5 settings. So that will be the first I'm doing. So, right. 750 Ti out of the PC now. Let's put it to the side. Oh, there we go. Let's put now the dual fan 570 in. Right, perfect. All right, it's in. That's what he said. So you're talking about the OC version of the 2070 Super. What do you mean? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Is the 2070 Super overclocked better than the 5700 XT? It depends on the game, really. The 5700 XT sometimes is slower than the 2070, sometimes it's faster than the 2070 Super. It depends on the game, really. But I think it's a good value so far. The thing is that the 5700 XT doesn't have ray tracing. The 2070 does, so that's a notable difference. You also have DLSS. AMD still doesn't have DLSS, a DLSS competitor. So things to keep in mind. It all depends on what you are going to play. So first here, in order to get good visuals on this capture card, I'm going to change something here in the AMD menu. I'm going to enable GPU scaling, so the scaling is correct. And then we are doing full RGB, so the colors are correct. So let's see. All right, so now the colors are correct. We're using the latest drivers as usual, trying to have the latest ones as usually as we can. 570. You can see it right there. So let's get straight into the game now. So here we go. And let's see how it goes on AMD. Since this is OpenGL, I don't have high hopes, but hey, who knows, maybe it runs well. Okay, so options, 100% render scale, please. Luis Torres, muchas gracias por la donación. Los $5, pa, muchas gracias. Te fuiste al hueso. Muchas gracias por la donación. Dice, los videos son buenos, grandioso PC Master Gamer. Espero más videos. Bueno, muchas gracias Luis Torres por la donación. Se agradece muchísimo. Y sí, más videos. Si siguen mirando el canal, voy a seguir haciendo videos. Así es como funciona. Espero que estés teniendo tremendo día. I was saying in Spanish, thank you so much to Luis Torres for the $5 donation. He says that the videos are great. He wants more PC Master Race videos. Well, we have that. That's what we are doing. So if you guys keep watching, I'm able to keep doing the content. That's basically how it works. So again, thank you so much for the support. Let's try now 1080p here. So task manager. Yeah, I cannot minimize the game. Hang on, guys. So there we go. So we change the size of the overlay. All right, there we go. So 1080p high settings. So let's go directly into the sandbox mode. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, I'm Santiago. Oh, yeah, that will be a good 10-hour video. So on high settings, 1080p, on the 570 we're getting 30 frames, but nothing is going on. Let's lower it, let's try destroying something and then we'll lower the settings. So let's put a rocket in this house. Whoa. All right, so already, let's put this on fire. Let's put some fire into this house. Okay, so with effects on screen we get below 30. Let's see if we can improve this by using medium settings. So medium settings 1080p. Already not looking good for the for high settings. Let's see, medium. So on medium settings, when looking at fire, we're getting 30s. Okay, 20s, never mind. It's dropping below 30 anyways. So it seems to be suffering more than the Nvidia cards on this game so far. Yeah, the AMD card drops harder at the moment. Let's try low settings. So low settings, 1080p. Excellent. Yeah, on low settings we're still below 30 frames, so super similar to the 1050 Ti, which is pretty strange. Game seems to be running better on Nvidia so far. Let's try putting this house on fire again. Yeah, still dropping below 30 super easily. Seems to be more CPU bound on the AMD cards. As you can see, the GPU usage drops quite a bit more, so it's not fully utilizing the GPU. Either the CPU, well, the CPU and the GPU, none of them seem to be used at 100%, so maybe AMD is bad here due to the OpenGL. Usually OpenGL on AMD is not that great. That's why emulators run better using Vulkan. So that's pretty unfortunate. I hope they add Vulkan support or something. OpenGL on this card doesn't seem to be that great for the AMD cards, in this game at least. Yeah, it was never good on AMD cards, OpenGL, but still unfortunate. Doesn't seem to be using the GPU at its maximum potential. As you can see, 70% GPU usage, and the CPU is not maxed out. So definitely something to do with software. Let's see if at 720p we can get over 30 at least. Yeah, the OpenGL support on AMD cards is pretty poor. I agree completely. But still, I want to get at least, I don't know, 30 frames. I'm not asking for much really. So 50% scale. So we are at half 1080p. Let's see if this gives us 30 frames when destroying stuff. All right. Okay. Give me more destruction. Yeah, still, well, it's at 30 more often, so lowering the resolution definitely helped in this case. But still, we're dropping below 30 super often with destruction. So let's try 900p. Let's go back to the menu. Let's try medium. Yeah. Still dropping pretty low. Again, OpenGL on AMD cards never have been great, so let's see. Let's just directly try to get 30s on 900p. So we're doing options, display, 900p. Have you tried the setup with Skyrim older one? Yeah, it's pretty good. Skyrim, the old Skyrim runs fine. So we're doing now 900p medium, if you guys didn't listen to me. So there we go. Let's try it out. So sandbox mode, Hollow Rock. Horizon Zero Dawn got a performance update. Oh, okay, I'm going to try it later on then. Thanks for the heads up. This is 50% 900p, sorry. There we go. So 900p medium, let's see if we can maintain 30 frames. Okay, so far not looking good for the 570, but hey, it's doing a lot better than before, that's for sure. So maybe it's so crazy to say that the 570 uses the same settings as the 1050 Ti. That's where you see the disadvantage AMD cards have on some OpenGL applications, such as this one. But yeah, doing a lot better now that I lowered the resolution. Still, when you have a lot of stuff on screen, it's going to drop below 30. But at least now it's using the entirety of the GPU. Still pretty demanding. Let's try low. So 900p low. So you don't have reflections on some of the glass. You don't have super sharp shadows. But you still have the fire and the smoke. When looking very close to it, yeah, not looking great. 750 Ti performs better. The 750 Ti did 720p with 50% resolution scale, so it was definitely worse, but it seemed more stable than this. Which kind of makes sense because the Nvidia cards usually have way better OpenGL support. But still, it's pretty disappointing to see that still having trouble with OpenGL. So yeah. Anyways, let's try now a mission. Let's try destroying this. So we destroy the performance, then we do one mission to see how it goes. So let's put bombs all around this lighthouse. So this is the stress test of the stress test of the stress test. Alright. So after the destruction is done, we go back into the 30s. Okay, just like the Nvidia cards. And once this tumbles over, come on. Into the water. Yeah, a lot of physics, as you can see. And just like it happened on the Nvidia cards, when there's a lot of physics, houses on fire, there's destruction, this fell over into the water, all that going on at the same time, it destroys the frame rate. So the CPU is not being maxed out, either the GPU. So both things are limiting us. So in this case, there's nothing that you can do other than wait for the developer to improve the CPU performance, because the GPU is not being fully utilized. So yeah, let's try now one of the missions. So campaign. Yeah, but OpenGL on AMD cards has never been great. This is no exception. So let's go to this mission we were before. Steal the GPS devices from lease boats and get the log files. Yeah, sure, let's do that. So in this case, yeah, the AMD cards are not doing great at all. But if you're one of the outside of the sandbox mode, like here, you don't have a limited ammo, so you have less of a destructive capability. The game is going to run better. So things to keep in mind, if you're doing the missions, it's not going to be as demanding as this. Definitely. Because again, you don't have as much ammunition to do whatever you want. So yeah, keep that in mind. Muchas gracias GeoNeo17 por la donación en Superchat, 20 pesos argentinos. Pregunta si voy a hacer un video con las mejores ofertas de Steam. No lo sé, capaz que hago un stream hablando de las ofertas de Steam, veremos. Pero por el momento no planeo porque no tengo mucho tiempo esta vez. Se agradece muchísimo la donación. Muchas gracias. So somebody donated 20 Argentinian pesos. And they asked me if I'm doing a video talking about the Steam sale. Probably not. Maybe at the end of the live stream I talk about it. But I'm not planning on doing a video just yet. Because I don't have time to do it. It takes quite a bit of time to get all the currencies, talk about the games. We'll see, maybe. At the moment, I have no plans to do so. But as you can see in this thing with the missions, it does run better, but that's because there's less stuff going on. So if you're planning on doing the campaign, well, you can do it on the 570, on probably medium settings 900p. But if you're doing any crazy destruction in the sandbox mode, you're not going to get away with it. It's going to drop further than the NVIDIA cards. As you can see, it drops quite a bit more. So yeah, let's go back to the sandbox mode. So we're back here. This is the same level, but we have unlimited ammo, so we can destroy basically as much as we want without restrictions. And as you can see, when I start wrecking havoc, yeah, the GPU doesn't hold up at all. So yeah, let's try 720p now. Now that we're here, we might as well. So, hang on, gotta go back to the main menu to do so. That's super unfortunate, but 720p, apply display. Overclockeando las 570 de generar 60 frames estables, no, ni de casualidad vas a llegar a 60 con una placa de media en este juego. Al final del video lo voy a explicar. So guys, somebody asked me if with overclocking the 570 I could get 60s. I don't think you're getting 60s in this game with an AMD card anytime soon, unfortunately. The OpenGL support in AMD cards is usually pretty poor. It depends on the game, really. But in this one, it's no different than when you're doing an emulator with OpenGL. So keep that in mind. It's a thing, it's a software limitation. AMD needs to work on the OpenGL support. Yeah, I mean, even at 720p high settings, I cannot maintain 30 frames. But I could on the 1050 Ti. So let's try medium. So 720p medium. Alright, now it's doing better. Okay, so probably 900p low or 720p medium would be the more stable ones on the 570. Yeah, definitely. 720p medium or 900p low, so similar to the 1050 Ti in this case. So yeah. So if I want to play this game with comfort, probably 900p or 720p on this card at least. And then when you destroy a lot of things at once like this, even the NVIDIA cards drop. So yeah. Unfortunate for the AMD cards on this one. Hell yeah. Alright. Anyways, let's do now the 580. I don't think it will be that different. Because again, this is a software limitation, at least for what I've seen. So we're quickly going to do the 580 on high 1080p. All right, let's swap. So see you later, 570. Hopefully you get better OpenGL support later down the line. So there it goes. Let's put it to the side. And now we're doing the 580. So super chunky 580, triple fan, 8 GB version. But we're going to be using dual fan clocks in order to get the realistic scenario. Okay, it's in. So yeah, let's see how the 570 does. I'm not expecting a huge difference over the 570 because again, OpenGL on AMD, not great in general. Seeing as how most games still recommend a 1060 or a 580, I would say either of them would be a good budget GPU. Well, it's basically the minimum now, but we're jumping into the next generation, so it kind of makes sense. We'll see once more games release. I'm super excited to see Cyberpunk. That'll be a huge test. Super big open world game. A lot of stuff going on. That will be great. It will be a lot of fun. I'll buy 3000 Nvidia or 6000 AMD when they release their 4700 and 7000 cards. Yeah, true. That's exactly how it goes. So let's do some tweaks. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to change the scaling to GPU scaling, so my capture card doesn't get crazy with the visuals. And then we're doing full RGB, so the colors are correct. So it looks how it should, at least on my capture card. All right, perfect. Let's open MSI Afterburner. And as you can see here, by default, this card has 1411 MHz. We're going to use 1366 because usually the 580 on stock settings uses that frequency. So it's more of a reference for you guys. And what else am I missing? Okay, everything seems to be fine. Let's do Teardown. 1060 will likely be the new 750 Ti someday. We'll see. Who knows? One day. It's going to be a huge stream with a lot of views. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. Every day I get questions of Cyberpunk 2077. Every single day. It's been months since I've been getting questions if I'm doing Cyberpunk. Yes, guys, I'm doing Cyberpunk. Do not worry, I'm going to test it. Probably going to do even the 2060 on that one. So yeah, high settings, 1080p. Let's pray for the 580. So sandbox mode, hollow rock. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so the 570 here was getting 30. Here we're getting 35. Oh, hang on. Gotta fix the frame rate counter. There we go. So frame rate counter on screen now. Let's fire a rocket. Wish me luck. Cover your eyes. Yeah, below 30, the second a rocket strikes the house. So let's try medium settings. So 1080p medium. So we restart the level now and retry. Come on. So medium settings now. Let's see, let's strike a rocket to the house. Okay, over 30. So avoid high settings on the AMD cards. High settings, for some reason, wrecks the graphics card. Okay, it's doing much better than the 570, by far. The 570 couldn't do 1080p medium over 30 frames. Okay, now we're dropping below 30. So probably low settings 1080p would be the best way. Let's destroy a little bit more. Yeah, without the smoke on screen, we already dropped below 30 super easily. Let's try low settings, so low 1080p. So low. Hola RetroSB, ¿cómo va? ¿Todo bien? Cuánta emoción. So on low settings, okay, low settings, still below 30 when looking at smoke. So super demanding for the AMD cards, as you can see. As far as I remember, before the game released, there was no way to play it on an AMD card. So let's see now. Okay, doing better now. Let's turn the floor on fire. because fire seems to be what destroys the graphics card. Yeah, definitely the fire and the effects with the smoke is what killed the graphics card. But hey, low settings seems to be at least 30 frames in the bad parts. But if you do crazy destruction like on the Nvidia cards, you're going to wreck the GPU and CPU anyways, so yeah, still drops below 30. I'll probably just use 900p medium like the 570. So yeah, this game will bring a 3090 to its knees. Yeah, of course, every card is going to be dropped to its knees because the game doesn't use the CPU to its maximum potential anyways. So you need to have super high single-threaded performance on your CPU, and you also need a fast graphics card. So you need both things. So let's do now 900p medium because high wrecks every AMD GPU so far. So mid settings 900p, as you can see, 900p medium. Let's get back into the sandbox. All right, wish me luck. Time to destroy. Yeah, already dropping below 30. Looking great. Doing better than the 570. So the 570 medium to low settings on 900p was the best option. Here it appears to be just 900p medium, despite getting some drops below 30. Not sure what's up with that. So yeah, the AMD cards, in a nutshell, suffer a lot in this game, at least right now. If there's a patch to get better performance on AMD, I'm going to test it out. But at the moment, we seem to be trapped here with these numbers. Let's see the low settings. DLSS is cheating. If DLSS works and it looks good, it's not cheating. It's just a feature that AMD should have a competitor to. Let's see, low settings. Alright, low settings is doing a lot better. So maybe low settings is always the way to go. Yeah, we're still over 30 despite the fire. So guys, use low settings on the AMD cards. Sorry to say that, but seems to be the best way to maintain over 30 frames, even with a lot of fire on screen. Yeah, it still drops below 30. So AMD cards on this game, at the moment, not great. And again, when you do big destruction like this, even the Nvidia cards suffer here. As you can see. The Nvidia and AMD cards in this case will always suffer with that much destruction. I forgot to destroy this part, hang on. Okay, it's floating. There's something I'm missing here, that's why. Maybe this? No. Maybe with a rocket I can finish the... Okay, there we go. Dang it. Yeah, sometimes there are bugs. Yeah, we know it's not true resolution, but if it looks good, who cares if it's not true resolution? If AMD gives us a DLSS alternative, I'll be all over trying it. It will be amazing. I know it's not the same as native resolution, but if it looks good, it doesn't matter. What matters if it looks good enough, why not take the extra performance uplift? Alright, so as you can see, when a lot of destruction happens, same as on the Nvidia cards, we drop. But the AMD cards as a baseline run a lot worse. Probably again due to the OpenGL. If we get an update on this, I'll let you guys know. But at the moment, my advice for the AMD cards, the 580 and the 570 at least, try low settings or medium settings 900p. And then on the display do either 900p or 720p, but never use high settings. High settings destroys the cards no matter the resolution in this game. Medium to low settings, in general on 900p or 720p. That should give you the best results overall in this game at least. So yeah, pretty unfortunate that we don't have good performance on the AMD cards. But hey, it is what it is at the moment. The game is on early access, so it's probably going to get improvements. But right now, that's the state of the performance on the AMD cards. Let's swap to the 1650 Super now. There is electricity in South America. Wow, yeah, it's insane, right? We get electricity like the rest of the world. The thing is, AMD will be doing it as an open source, so we all can use it. Yeah, that's the thing I like about AMD. Usually when they release something, it's open source, so we can use it on whatever we want. So if they have a DLSS alternative open source, and we can do whatever we want, that will be amazing. So good for us. I mean, yeah, I love DLSS, but it is a proprietary technology, so we are limited to NVIDIA on that. So here's the 580. Let's put it to the side. And let's test the 1650 Super, a teeny tiny card. This game in particular, I expect it to perform a lot better because it's OpenGL. NVIDIA usually runs a lot better on OpenGL. Depends on the game, of course, but on this one, this game has a bug where the MSI OSD lowered the FPS by 20 to 30%. Well, thank you for the heads up. I'm going to check that out. At the end, I'm going to swap to the 580 again and disable the overlay. Thank you for the heads up. I didn't know that. Yeah, people have electricity. Crazy, huh? Insane. But thanks to Raven Killbartman for the heads up. I'm going to try it out. That will be interesting to see. If that's the case, I'm going to report it. So yeah. Okay. So we are back into the PC. Give me 1 second. I gotta do one tweak to the NVIDIA control panel in order for the capture card to get the correct image. Oh, it's already done. So yeah, to get the best image on my capture card, I usually use these settings. So I get the correct scaling on the games. So let's launch the game again after we launch SI. All right, good. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to try disabling MSI afterburner, and if that improves things, I'm going to try the AMD cards again, just to get that out of the way. So high settings, 1080p. Let's see. All right, so 1080p high settings. Oh, and before doing that, hang on. Gotta go to Steam. Hang on, I'm gonna hide my screen for a second. I'm going to enable the frame rate counter from Steam. So in game, here, FPS counter, top left. Excellent. All right, let's get Teardown up and running again. What do you mean? People have electricity? Why wouldn't be no electricity? Yeah, true. I wouldn't be able to use my phone. All right. So let me see if I disabled afterburner at all. Okay, I didn't. So let's try the sandbox mode, hollow rock. Let's see the frame rates that we get with MSI afterburner running. So without doing anything at all, in this part we're getting 38 FPS. Let's see if I disable it. Oh yeah, there's a huge difference. What the heck? Whoa. Look at this, guys. So we got 38 FPS with MSI afterburner running. So 38 FPS, as you can see with the Steam overlay. But if I disable MSI afterburner, the overlay, we jump into 60s. What the heck? So all the testing I did was worthless, basically. Great. So I gotta go and try everything again. How interesting. Yeah, when I enable the overlay, I get a huge performance hit. Yeah, what the heck? How weird. Well, great. I can do retesting. So I'm going to do this quick, guys. I'm going to use the NVIDIA, the Steam frame rate counter, and try everything again So I'm going to be doing this super quickly. So let's give it a second shot. I'm happy that this is the case. The performance was not that great on the AMD cards. Yeah, even on high settings on the 1650 Super, well, the strength stuff, I'm getting over 30 just fine. But with the afterburner overlay, I get below 30 easily. So thank you, man. Thank you, the Raving Killbart man, for the heads up. Yeah, those weird bugs are so strange. Yeah. My apologies, guys. I didn't know about this. It's so rare when that happens. So very cool. We get great performance then on the 1650 Super. So you can do over 30 just fine. Let's destroy... Yeah, 1 hour and a half for nothing. No worries. No worries. I'm going to give it a second try. Super quickly on all the other cards. But at least I know what the most demanding part is, which is what I was looking for. But how unfortunate that that was the case. That's super rare, but when it happens, it happens. It happens. I'm glad that's the case because that means more frames. Yes, please, give me those. Give me more frames. Yeah. Easily over 30 frames, even with all this destruction. Let's see once... Whoa, yeah, when this tumbles over, it kills the CPU. But it's completely stable now. So in the single player portion, you're going to be fine. The single player portion, I mean the missions, when you don't have unlimited ammunition. Whoa, look at that. That destruction. Okay, 20 frames. Let's see if it goes back up. No, it doesn't. So the only thing that holds true in comparison to my previous footage is that all this that you see here, when there's a lot of destruction like this, you're going to drop below 30. But once that's gone, you should be over 30 all the time. So yeah. You can do 1080p high just fine, as you can see here. So 1650 Super, my advice, 1080p, high settings, and I'm going to update this, use this as a separate video, because I don't want to have an hour and a half of live stream without doing the correct stuff. What happened, MSI Afterburner destroys the frame rate, so look at this, 53 FPS, I enable the overlay and I get 34. So there's a bug going on with the frame rate metrics. So I'm using the Steam metrics. So you can do high settings just fine on this card. Let's go to the next one. And I'm going to upload it as a separate video because this is not representative. It wasn't, at least a few seconds ago. So yeah, anyways. So on the 1650 Super, you can do ultra settings just fine. So yeah, anyways, let's try, what else? Yeah, we're on high settings. We cannot go any further than this. Let's try low. Let's see if we can maintain 60s. So low settings, 1080p. Yeah, I mean, even on low settings now, I can do super smooth frame rates. Over 50, even when looking at fire. It's ridiculously better now. So yeah. Yeah. No doubts about it. You can even do 60 frames now. That's awesome. I'm glad this is the case. ¿Qué pasó? MC Afterburner cuando lo activaste rompe los FPS en este juego, no sé por qué. Guys, this game, for some reason, when I enable the metrics with MSI Afterburner, it destroys the frame rate. Look at this, I enable it, and I drop into the 40s. I disable it, I go back into the 60s. So all my testing in this hour and a half has been worthless, because I didn't know. So now I know. Let's try the other cards now. You can do 1650 super, over 50 on low settings, and on high settings you can do over 30 just fine. So yeah, let's get back to the 580, then we do 570, then 750 Ti, we do all over again. Maybe let's do 1050 Ti first, then we do the other ones, so we can see the best settings. So let's swap to the 1050 Ti again, let's do it. Now that we know how to make the game run properly. Okay, other reviewers also use MSI Afterburner in their videos. Makes sense, it's usually the software everybody uses to see frame rates in general. So glad that you guys let me know that MSI Afterburner in this game destroyed the frame rate, because I can now test it properly. So 1650 super, did well, 1080p, low settings 50 to 60, high settings over 30. Let's do again the 1050 Ti. My apologies guys, I didn't know about the MSI Afterburner bug on this game. That's pretty unfortunate. But hey, let's keep playing. If I known you was streaming this game, I would have warned you sooner. Well, I didn't know, but that's fine, man. It usually happens. Good to know, good to know. No, the game runs, considering what the game is doing, is pretty impressive. It's doing ray tracing without ray tracing hardware, and there's destructible environments with voxels. So it's pretty impressive, considering what we're seeing, makes sense. Alright, let's try it out on the 1050 Ti again. So status 1050 Ti. Let's see if low settings, let's try high settings first, then we'll see. So we're not using MSI Afterburner because the game does not like it, it will kill your performance. So yeah, keep that in mind. So I apologize, but I just found out about this. So we're doing 1080p high. So we open the sandbox level. Let's see. Okay, 30 frames per second. Yeah, ridiculously better now. Let's see once we destroy stuff. I expect it to drop, but yeah, this is a lot better. It's ridiculously better now. We're dropping below 30, yeah. But I mean, before this we weren't even hitting 30s. So let's try medium. Let's see if that gives us those better numbers. Okay, medium gives us mid-20s, upper 20s. Let's do low. Low is probably going to be over 30 this time around. Yep, yeah. Low settings 1080p, so definitely better than before. Before on 1080p we couldn't get 30 frames on low settings even when destroying stuff. So definitely an improvement. Definitely. Otra vez la de 50 Ti, sí, porque estábamos midiendo mal el rendimiento. El juego se buguea con el contador de FPS. Yeah, as you can see guys, now even when destroying stuff, the 1050 Ti can do over 30 frames just fine on low settings 1080p. So yeah, super impressed now with these numbers considering what I got before. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can play just fine on low settings. Whoa, I'm through the ground. Oh, I destroyed the ground, that's why. So yeah, anyways. So let's try now 900p. Yeah, the difference in performance is huge now. So let's go back to the main menu and do 900p. So we go to the options, 900p, and we do high settings. So 900p high. Okay, so 900p high. Let's see how many FPS. Hopefully we get over 30 on high. Let's find out. So sandbox, hollow rock. All right, so on 900p high we're getting over 40. Yeah, definitely a lot better than before. Let's see if we can maintain over 30 like this. Yeah, we can. Interesting. Yeah, over 30 on high settings. Maybe if you want some room to spare, do medium, but high seems to be fine. So, great stuff. So yeah, anyways. Let's try medium for a second. Let's do low. Let's see if we can get 60s. Okay, over 50. So 900p low. You can probably get better numbers, as you can see. So we're getting over 50 when looking at fire. Let's restart just in case. So rockets. Well, Mr. CM, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, so thank you so much, man. Yeah, I try to show the real performance. Sometimes it's difficult, but we try. Yeah, even on low settings, you're dropping below 50, so if you want smoother frame rates, let's do 720 to check that out. So 720p, let's apply those. All right. So at 720p high settings, we're going to start with. So high settings, 720p on the sandbox level. So high settings, 720. Over 60 right now. Let's see for how long. Okay, still over 50. Probably going to drop below. Okay. Seems to be over 50 just fine. Yeah, maybe on 720p, medium makes more sense, but you can do 720p just fine. So yeah, let's do medium. Medium should give us 60s. Yep, medium. So, okay, medium settings. So as you can see on medium 720p, we're getting over 50 frames even when looking at fire close by. Whoa, I dropped. 1 second. Gotta get out of here. Hang on. Gotta get out of here. Let's just blow myself up. There we go. So we respawn. So 720p medium seems to be the best way to be close to 60. As you can see, you get fancy reflections, you get fancy shadows. So yeah, anyways, let's now swap again to the 750 Ti because we have to retest everything. I'm so sorry, guys. So we're going to do 750 Ti at 720p medium first. So we turn it off. Come on. Why don't you ever try 768p? Because it runs basically the same as 720p. That makes no sense. Makes no sense to test it if I do 720. Basically the same. So 750 Ti again. Alright. Ahora recomiendas la 1650 Super. Con 4 GB de video me cuesta recomendarla, pero veremos qué pasa. Por el momento no sabría qué decirte. Alright. Almost there. Okay, launching. ¿Cómo piensas que irán las AMD? Deberían mejorar un montón las AMD ahora. Ahora que cambie eso. Alright. So we're back into the desktop. 1 second, guys. It has to load the drivers. Okay, teardown. Come on. Come on, game. There you are. So we're back into the game now at 720p medium. Let's see how it goes. Before this I had to do 540p, but we had an issue with MSI afterburner, so let's give it a try again. So at 720p medium we're getting over 30. Okay, that's a huge improvement. Yeah, definitely a huge improvement. I couldn't even do low settings before. I had to lower the resolution further. So yeah, the legendary graphics card from 2014 can still do 720p medium with some drops below 30 frames. But I can still play the game. So yeah, definitely. If you want to play this game on the 750 Ti, use 720p. You can do over 30 even with destruction going on. Of course, if you destroy this lighthouse and it falls over the house, it's going to drop below 30, but that happens on all the graphics cards. So yeah, when there's a lot of destruction, you'll drop on any GPU, basically. So yeah, good stuff. Let's open this door. Yeah, seems to be fine, most of the time at least. And you get the fancy reflections. So 720p medium, you can do it on the 750 Ti without any overclocking whatsoever. So great improvement. If you want to play this game, you can do so just fine, even on this GPU. Let's swap to the 570 now. Sorry I'm speedrunning this, but I need to do it because I spent a lot of time doing the test wrong without knowing it. So 570, we're going to try 1080p high. So high settings, 1080p for the 570. Let's remove the 750 Ti. Here it is, 750 Ti. And we're putting the 570 in. So here it goes. All right. Ok, let's give it another try. ¿Y qué onda, Santi? ¿Cómo van esas explosiones? Bien, bien. El tema es que con el contador de FPS que usaba, mataba los FPS del juego por alguna razón. Así que tuve que retestear todo. Pero bien, las explosiones bien. Guys, I was saying in Spanish that if you use MSI afterburner in this game, you're going to have huge issues with the frame rate. So make sure to not use that FPS counter. Use the built-in FPS counter on Steam. That one won't give you any problems with the performance. This one, I don't know why it happened, but it destroyed the frame rate using MSI Afterburner. So we're going to just use the FPS counter from Steam to get the correct frame rates. So everything I did an hour ago is not valid. The only valid part is what I'm doing right now. So apologies on that, but I didn't know. All right, so options, let's put it on high and 1080p. So great stuff. Okay. So 1080p, high settings, wish me luck. Hopefully this time the AMD cards do better. So play, sandbox, hollow rock. Okay, over 30 frames, at least right now. Let's see once we wreak havoc. Okay, still dropping frames on the AMD card. Let's try medium settings. Yeah, definitely this game runs better on NVIDIA cards. So this is 1080p medium now. So the NVIDIA cards seem to have an advantage, probably due to the OpenGL. But yeah, this card is doing a lot better now. Still not doing great, but doing better than before. So yeah, OpenGL in this game, not great for the 570. So the AMD cards still having problems with this one. Again, probably due to the OpenGL. OpenGL on AMD cards is pretty dodgy. Let's try this on low settings now. So low settings. Okay, yeah, definitely better. There was an improvement, but still on AMD cards the game doesn't run that great. So yeah, on the AMD cards, consider using low settings for 1080p at least on the 570. That's the way it goes. The way it goes. So yeah. Let's try 900p now. So we gotta go back to the menu for that, so apologies. 900p. Let's go. Graphics on medium, because high wrecks the AMD cards for some reason. Sandbox, Hollow Rock, and 900p medium. Okay, excellent. Let's see, so 40 frames, let's destroy this. Yeah, even on medium 900p, still dropping below 30. So yeah, probably need to use low on the AMD cards. How unfortunate. Let's try priority on high. Well, let's try that. That usually doesn't change a lot for me, but let's do it. So we had high settings. Let's restart the level first. So let's do high settings again. So high settings 900p. We're getting right now 52 FPS, 54. And if I do that thing that you told me, so we go to details, we put on high priority. Yep. Let's see, we got 54, now we got 52, 54. Let's see. Okay, it seems to be improved. We were dropping below 30, and for some reason the fire now is bugged. Yeah, it's a lot better, so how ridiculous. So many weird issues. Let's restart the level once more. The system requirement on Steam page of Teardown only shows NVIDIA cards. Oh, that's pretty unfortunate, but it makes sense. OpenGL on the AMD cards. Yeah, but I see an improvement with what you told me. To use high priority on the process, it does improve it a lot. So let's put the status, high settings plus high priority task manager. So yeah, on the AMD cards, use this. It improves performance on the AMD cards significantly. Probably on the NVIDIA cards as well, but I'm not going to test them all over again. I already did that twice. It still likes to drop below 30, so maybe medium settings. Let's try medium again. So mid settings, 900p. Okay, yeah, a lot better. Yeah, even with fire on screen, it seems to be doing a lot better than before. So, medium settings 900p seems to be the best way for the 570 to go, at least on this game most of the time. It'll still drop below 30 with a lot of stuff on screen. But yeah, it is a lot better than before. So yeah, this will be my advice. Why you don't have Rivet Center on? Because it destroyed the performance in this game for some reason. There's a bug going on. So yeah, anyways, best settings for the 570, 900p, medium settings, and open the task manager once the game is running, and put the priority on high. That should give you more stable frame rates in this case. So yeah. Anyways, let's go now to the 580. No voy a hacer eso de Madraco en todos los juegos porque nadie lo hace. Nadie lo hace, me refiero, en general la gente no toca esas cosas y los juegos funcionan normal. No siempre cambia, a veces empeora las cosas, por eso no lo hago. Alright, time to do the 580 now. The 1650 Super, I already did it. So yeah. Here's the 570 removed. Let's put the 580 once more. So the triple fan beast, time to go in. Spool goes in. Excellent. Yeah, Revatunner in this game destroys the frame rate, not sure why. This is the first time I run into an issue like this. It never happened before, but in this game it seems to be going on, so good thing I have the Steam overlay at least. So yeah. De nada. A veces sí, a veces empeoran las cosas, por eso no siempre lo hago. Sometimes putting the priority of the process of the game on high does not help. Sometimes it worsens the numbers. So let's do 580 now on 1080p. High settings, and we're going to keep the priority on high like before. So Tasks Manager, go to details, and we'll launch the game. Let's try it out. Is it to the game engine? Yeah, the game engine is made by the person that made the game, but it's using voxels. It's completely different than other games. Only voxels for all the stuff that's going on. And there's ray tracing on the shadows, on the water, on everything. That's why it's so demanding. But the issue with MSI afterburner probably made a lot of people think that the game just was poorly made or something. It seems to be just a limitation of what they were doing. Or maybe they didn't think about that, which kind of makes sense. You cannot take everything into account all the time. Okay, Teardown. We're going to put the priority on high like before. Okay, so high settings. And I don't have the FPS counter for some reason. Come on, Steam. Shift tab. Yeah, I lost the FPS counter. That's awesome. It's great. Gotta love that. I love when Steam breaks. Okay, that's the FPS counter again. Let's see if I put full screen once more. Gotta love those issues. Okay. We're back. Time to jump into Sandbox. All right. So high settings, 1080p with high priority. See? Yeah. Even with the 580 on the AMD cards, it doesn't seem to be that great. Let's see, medium. We restart the level. So now it's medium settings. Okay, it's better than before, but still not great. Why would I use fraps if I have the Steam FPS counter built in? Makes no sense to use fraps. Yeah, I'm going to try that under a bridge too far. I'm going to try it. Hang on. Come on. What the heck, game? Alright. Just to show you guys that there's a difference. So let's show you that. Restart the level. So we're getting 45 FPS. If I enable the overlay, it didn't change. So on the AMD cards, apparently it doesn't change the performance at all to have the overlay, but it did on the NVIDIA cards. So super interesting stuff. Yeah, something is not right. So yeah, something weird is going on. Let's see if I enable it here. Yeah, it doesn't break the game anymore to have the FPS counter. So not sure what's going on. Oh, you mean when it's not working? Well, yeah, of course, but it's working. It was just a matter of disabling full screen and enabling back up. But thanks for the heads up anyways. So guys, if you want to get 30s on the 580, my advice, medium settings on 900p or 1080p. On 1080p it's going to drop below 30, so medium doesn't make a lot of sense in this case. Yeah, low on 1080p works better. So for the 580, 1080p low, like the 570, similar numbers, just slightly better. Or do 900p medium, and that should give you the best performance in general, which is not great performance, but better than nothing, I guess. So, moment of truth, 900p again. Come on, there we go. So, best settings will be 900p medium or 1080p low, at least on the AMD cards. Try disabling sim overlay, maybe later. Maybe later. Yeah, definitely. Still dropping below 30. So yeah, I don't know what's up with AMD cards in this game. Pretty mixed so far. Well, I saw a video that said that before this game released, the game wasn't even working correctly with AMD cards. It was like... what's the name of this? It had invisible assets. So maybe the game just needs more work to get them working well on the AMD cards. Yeah, it's not doing great. So I'm going to wait for a patch for the AMD tests in the future for this game. Because it's on early access, it's going to get updates, going to get a lot of stuff. Right now, I recommend it on NVIDIA cards. On AMD cards, it's pretty unstable. But you can get away with it by using medium settings 900p. Yeah, definitely. Something is not going great. So yeah, let's talk about the options menu super quickly. I'm going to sum up everything that I did. So guys, make sure to not have the MSI afterburner FPS counter. In some cards, for some reason, it destroys the frame rate. Not sure what's up with that. So make sure to not use it. Do not use this program on this game. And what else? Well, in the options menu, you only have high, low, medium, and that's about it. If you use high or medium, you get all the shadows, all the reflections, everything. But if you go to low, you get less crisp shadows, less quality on the reflections, and less lights in general. So my advice is to use medium. Then on the NVIDIA cards, if you have a 1050 Ti, you can do 1080p medium or 1080p low. 1080p low is recommended there, or use lower resolutions with higher settings. Then if you have a 1650 Super, you can do 1080p high just fine. If you're using a 750 Ti, you can do 720p low or medium. And if you have a 570 or 580, 900p medium seems to be the best balance. But it still runs pretty bad. Isn't this game playing badly because of OpenGL support being bad on AMD cards? Yeah, exactly that. AMD cards in general do not have a good relationship with OpenGL, to say it in some way. So in some games like this one, the performance is significantly worse. You can see that on the CMU emulator a few years back. The AMD cards got unplayable frame rates. Well, this is one of those games, so OpenGL, hopefully if they change the API to Vulkan or I don't know, maybe there it improves, I don't know, I'm not an engineer. But right now what I can say is that OpenGL is usually what doesn't benefit the AMD cards. So yeah, anyways. Yeah, 2Kills Phillips goes more in depth. Yeah, he has faster AMD cards, so it's interesting to see. He has even faster NVIDIA cards testing there. So my advice, if you have an AMD card, wait. If you have an NVIDIA card, you can play it just fine. But yeah, they need to tweak that for better performance on AMD cards at the moment. But make sure do not use this FPS counter. Use the one built in with Steam. That should give you the best numbers in general. For some reason, this affects performance in this game. So yeah, I'll be doing maybe the 2060. We'll see. Right now, today at least, I'm not doing it. I spent way more time than I expected testing this game. because of that issue with afterburner. So apologies, but I didn't know. So anyways, I'm going to thank the members now, and then I'm going to put the timestamps in the video so you guys know where to look at. So we go to monetization, memberships. So if you're a tier 2 member, I'm going to see your name at the end of each live stream, like I'm doing right now. So thank you so much to Unlike, Official Marlow 2000, Gavi Asieres, Coconuts, Avisek Mukherjee, Rodrigo Duarte, Christopher Job, Sonak Das, and Ken for being awesome supporters 2.0. Thank you so much for going the extra mile and supporting the channel. And thanks to the tier 1 members as well, and you guys watching. It wouldn't be possible without you. I'm going to do timestamps and all that once the video finishes processing. It's a 4K live stream, so it's going to take a while. Be patient. So yeah, see you guys later, and thanks for watching. Bye bye. See ya.